Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this Friday morning. Weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center. Boy, it's going to be hot. They're calling for 92 to 93 here on the coast and a low of 78. So you can imagine what it's going to be inland. It's going to be a hot, humid day, a typical August weather in Florida. Water temperature went up another degrees, back up to 88 degrees. So it's hot in the water and hot out of the water. All right, let's take a look at our river readings. Both the rivers are in good shape. They're catching fish on the river. We'll talk about it. Apalachicola 2.1. Weekend fishing is going to be good on Apalachicola. Same on the Choctawhatchee. It's reading a 2.9. Both of them in good shape and looking really good there. Let's go ahead and do our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Their motto is when carrying counts, and they're located right here on 23rd Street. Today's Friday, the 14th of August, halfway through August, and we're looking at a good tide again. We have a high tide this morning, 10:44, and then this afternoon about 8:14. So that's a really good flow right there of tide. Now let's go and do our fishing game time brought to us by Mark Coward of Counts Realty. We like to do our times on Friday on the beginning of the show because of our fishing report. 12:26 a.m. to 2:26 a.m. looking at the bottom of it right there, and then the top of the schedule 12:49 right after lunch, 12:49 and 2:49. Just go and tell the boss you need to take a half day off on Friday, go catch some fish, and you bring him a mess. I'm sure everything will work out good. Marine forecast be not bad. East-southeast about 5 to 10, but always be careful on these afternoon thunderstorms. They'll pop up and have a lot of. They come in with lightning. And the afternoon, I know Callaway and the Cove just got hammered on a storm. Mexico Beach, and really, I looked at the radar about an hour earlier, and nothing was there. And all of a sudden, it just blossomed up and just really. It moved just a little bit. So just be aware of these summer thunderstorms. We talk about them a lot, and I'm going to show you a picture in a little bit where lightning hit our local pier. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's get our little picture parade of the Panhandle picture parade of all the outdoor activities. So y'all send them to us, and we get a kick out of them because it's what a great, and I say this all the time, what a great view of what's going on here local in the Panhandle. Let's start off with something that a lot of people don't get to do. How about frog gigging? This is Weston Cooley. Weston, one of my former students, and this is right up his alley. He's asked me to go several times with him. Look at the size of those frogs. They're huge. I'm serious. Now, that's some big frogs. And Weston goes several times during the summer. Good job, Weston. I'm going to go with you one night. That'll be one of my things I'm going to do pretty soon. Let's go from frogs to shark. This is, this is a bull shark, and they don't have a good disposition. Logan Williams, it broke his rod catching this bull shark. They're tough. And caught and released it, but good job, Logan Williams, another one of my former students there. How about floundering? Enoch Waddell, that's a nice flounder, catching them. You can see the color. Look at the color of the lure used. That chartreuse tail. I really am a believer when chartreuse first came out. I fished a lot with chartreuse, and I still do. And just be patient when you're fishing for flounder. Good job, Enoch Waddell. All right, listen, this is. Y'all read this. I'm opposed to private property, hunting, fishing, trapping, or trespassing for any purpose is strictly, look at that word, strictly forbidden. That word is misspelled. They need to go through spell check. And these are I got friends that live up there. Mill Bayou Homeowners Association. Y'all need to use spell check before you do your next sign. Okay? That's funny. I don't know if it's going to show up. Is it going to show up on the screen? If the Titanic sank in 2015, here's what would happen. All the survivors get their cell phones out and just to be taking pictures of it. I showed that, just be aware. Everything you do, and we're aware of this as teachers, and that's preached to us in preschool every year. Everything you do is going to be on cell phone. And they can get the kids can operate a cell phone. They can actually text under their desks. I mean, right now, when I'm looking at you, if I was a kid, I could be texting my friend and you wouldn't know it. And the cell phone, if something would happen, that would be out this quick taking pictures. So be aware, everything you do, I know most of y'all are aware of that, is going to be recorded now. That's just part of the social media revolution that we're going through as we speak. All right. Next picture, this is good. I like this little couple here, and this is Mary Margaret Frith. Her dad's Greg, runs a Panhandle Educated Credit Union, boyfriend Trade Register. They do a lot of fishing together. Nice redfish coming out of West Bay there, one of those little creeks going into West Bay. All right, now let's go to a nice bass, Clarence Raffield, a nice 8-pounder. Good job, Clarence Raffield. I believe he did release that. And now, William Jones, one of our viewers from Alpha, has moved to Tennessee. He sent me a picture from Tennessee of a fried brim. Now listen, if you're going to send me a picture of fried brim, you need to invite me to come up there and eat with y'all. Greg, okay, this is the one. I'm gonna just show the pictures. I'm gonna read to you what happened. This is when lightning hit the pier last week. Here, this is an eyewitness on the pier. Okay, I'm gonna read it to you. We were having a great Spanish bite. Then that huge shelf cloud. Y'all remember that big old cloud last week that came in real dark like a shelf? And you see those several times during the summer, but they're very strong. There were over 8 of us on the pier, and we're at the end of the city pier, and went bang. Yep, there was a lightning popped about, and 3 of us got hit hard. Okay, we were lucky. And this is Richard Batwell, I got electrical burns to my right arm. He showed his arm there. Me and Thomas Costas, our costers popped off our faces. Okay, some guy tensed up and dropped his pole into the water. St. Croix rod dropped the rod into the water when it hit. I got hit pretty hard. It was hard to breathe for a few minutes. The boat hit 30 feet off the right back corner where I was leaning on the rail. My reel is burnt. He showed a picture of the reel, and it locked up. But I did get my limited Spanish. So anyway, that were on the pier. So be aware of that. A lot of times we talk about when those big old clouds come in. A lot of times that lightning is ahead of those clouds, and also behind the clouds. Sometimes we think it's cleared out. It's amazing how that happens. So be aware of that. Okay, let's move on to the next pictures. Okay, this is a Deer Point Lake. The season's over for 2015. The Tuesday night shootout. This is the first place. Eric Warning got 13 pounds. Second place, Will and Floyd Nelson, 11.9 pounds. Third place, Zeb Schofield, 6 pounds. Fourth place, Chris Sabo and Brett Sabo. Lunker went to Will Nelson, 5 pounds. And Trash Fish, Jack Fish was Al Ramsey. So that season's over for summer 2015. Good job, fellas. Again, one of my former students. I really am proud of these former students of mine. They just keep on fishing. I like that. Greg Loudon. Greg is a good fisherman. He's been on the show before. A couple of nice redfish. Isn't that nice? That's over in West Bay. Greg's a good fisherman. Okay. How about old Chris Clark? He's over there in North Bay. Caught that on a voodoo shrimp. And good job, Chris Clark, former student. How about another little Amber Gray? Bless her. She's a sweet little girl. Loves to fish, and there's a nice flounder she and her boyfriend got. Flounder gig, and look in the ice chest. They got supper ready for the next night. Good job, Amber. All right, what about Mike Fletcher? Emerald Coast Tile and Marble, 8-pound doormat. Mike, that's an East Bay flounder now. And we're going to Mike's coming on the show as a sponsor. Emerald Coast. He did a tile job for me the other day. It was just outstanding. We'll talk to him into coming on as a sponsor, and he's going to do that. So we're going to do a little commercial for him and get him on here. Okay, that takes care of the pictures. I tell you a lot of them, and we'll maybe have more. I know we'll have more next week too with this weekend looking good. Let's go and take a break, and we'll be right back. All right. Good morning, Robbie Freed, one of our loyal viewers. I tell you what, I'm going to say good afternoon, Robbie Freed, because Robbie, like a lot of y'all in the morning, getting your wife and the kids getting ready for work, and you getting ready for work, kids getting ready for school and everything. And so he DVRs the show in the morning, watches in the afternoon when he gets home after work. So a good viewer there, and I understand y'all getting a place down at Howard Creek. They're doing something. Jenny and Robbie Freed, what they're doing, they're going in with some other families and buying a spot down there. I got to think about that driving into work. That's not a bad idea. A lot of times if you can't afford a place, go with other people and just share it, because it's like a weekend getaway or like a fish camp like they're doing at Howard Creek, or even on a property. You're buying property to hunt on. A lot of times you can't afford a big old piece of property that you want. And so go, share with somebody. And what you could do, I know people that have like fish camps, and they just go there's two couples, and they go every other weekend, or they have they have rights every other weekend, and then they trade off Thanksgivings and things like that. So think about doing that, getting a nice place, and go ahead and enjoy it while you're young and all. I know when you're younger, you don't have as much money as you have when you're older, but you still want to go fishing and camping and hunting and all that. And a lot of times it's nice to have your own place to do that. So go ahead and Robbie and some families are going in together down there at Howard's Creek getting a place. So that's good. They're going to be right around the corner from us. So it'll be good to, I'm going to smell their fish when they're fried, and I'll go over there and eat with them. All right, let's show one more picture. I didn't get to show this one. This is a great one. This is one of my favorites, of course. This is the tail end of the Sea Quarter tournament. You can see they are presenting a check to the Leukemia Foundation. That's Rob on the left. He's from Chicago. Okay, and then there's Jimmy there, and this is $55,000 they made this year. And Jimmy Crowder and his surviving daughter, they're giving that check $55,000. Very proud of that tournament. I know I talk about it a lot, but I have a lot of pride in it. And I know just being in the Panhandle, being from Florida, to be a part of that or just witness it is really special. Okay, so that check that's important. So let me talk about a tournament now coming up this weekend. Tomorrow, Emerald Coast Redfish Tour is going to be in Lynn Haven, right there at the bridge. Mark Coward, Michael, they're going to fish it. A lot of local folks fishing it. You're welcome to fish it. Go on their website, check the times and all. The weigh-in is going to be at 3 o'clock. You may, if you live in that area, you might just want to go by, check out the weigh-in right there at Porter Park at the bridge. In addition, now, and we've had, Jared came on and talked about the Big Brim tournament, and Weewall at the end of the road landing there. The weigh-in there is going to be, I believe, at 1 o'clock. So good. I hope I can get in both of them. I'm going to try to get in both of them, and I'm going to try to fish some myself. So I got a busy day tomorrow. So all this stuff is going on here. And also there's another tournament down in St. Joe Bay at the St. Joe Marina. They haven't told me anything about it. I just happened to see the sign, so I will go ahead and mention it. It's called the Bayou Bash, and they have all kind of fish there, so check it out. Sometimes if you don't give me word on tournaments, give me details, it's hard for me to talk about it. I just happened to see the sign on the side of the road mentioned it last week, so I wrote myself a note. The Bayou Bash down in St. Joe at the St. Joe Marina. Okay, that's 3 tournaments this weekend. Then we've got coming up end of the month, we got the MBARA. I'm gonna have them on the show talking about their tournament. Okay, wrote down a couple of others. I have an email here, and it was asking. Let's see. I don't really have time to get into it. Because I want to do a better job with it. Okay. The Emerald Coast Redfish Tournament. I got this note here. This weigh-in check-in is going to be at 4:45 a.m. to 5:30 if you're going to leave there. Okay, 4:45 to then. I also wrote myself a note on BP money. I was going to talk about that. The BP money, and they're trying to decide what to do with it. And it really irritates me that money has gotten in the hands of the politicians, and that's the last place in the world it should get. And I mentioned it before. This BP money, now from the BP oil spill, the future money, that money, because now a lot of people have already been paid off as far as their damages. The fishermen, the oystermen, the motel owners, a lot of them, they've already put in their claims and all. And they're talking about future money. So I'm not talking. And that shouldn't go to tourist development or anything like that, because people are going to be coming down anyway. That money should go to our environmental area, the bays and estuaries of the Florida Panhandle, the ones that were affected. Okay, it should go to planting grass. It should go to some boat ramps to have people have access. It should go to young people. It should go to classes in the schools somehow, teaching environmental awareness, and also teaching kids how to enjoy the outdoors. If I have any money left over, they'll buy every kid in the Florida Panhandle a rod and reel. I feel very strong about that money should go to environmental causes, because that's what was affected. And as far as businesses and all, they've been paid back, but in the future, that money should go to all along the coastline, all the marsh areas and all that. The restoration of grasses and the oyster beds and Apalachicola and West Bay, all those places that are affected. That's where that money should go for the restoration of that kind of stuff. And everybody, like I say, but it's got in the hands of politicians, and it's amazing. We're going to follow. We're going to try to follow some of that money where they do with it. It's going to. show you how bad it is. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to talk more about that too. I wanted to mention too. Let's see, I had a couple other things on here. I want to end with this funny one too. I saw it the other day. Look at this. Jeff, I said, can we get this one up? Okay, and God promised men that good and obedient wives would be found in all corners of the world. Then he made the earth round and laughed and laughed and laughed. I thought that was a funny one. Okay. All right, now, I did have an email asking about floundering and all, and also asking about rigging up for king mackerel. I have a drawing here, and I have it. I don't have it really. If you can, let me see if I can turn it the other way. It's still going to be vertical, isn't it, Jeff? Okay. Well, let's look at this. I drew it this morning. I don't know. The green is a fish. This is my bait fish I'm rigging up. The blue is the hook. So you're going to put your hook to the bottom of the fish, okay, the bottom of the mouth right there, and this is our tip of the day, okay. You can have a menhaden on, you can have a pilcher, anything really, alewives, blue runners, cigar minnows, okay. Then the yellow is a wire leader, and the pink is a treble hook, and this is how we rig up when we free line for king mackerel, okay. So you really have a thin wire leader. You have that hook coming through the bottom of the lip, thin wire leader, and then a treble hook, and we just free line like that, and that's what we've had good success with over the years, catching those king mackerel. As far as catching the live bait, I just have a chauffeur trap, this size chauffeur trap, and what it is, we put, when you put your fish trap out, you can get it any. Well, let me read the email, okay, because it came from Sam McBroom from Defuniak Springs. It said, hey, that was a good show, good 2 shows on the Sea Quarters tournament on the 2-day program. Please show the bait rig you used, and also and how you caught the bait fish, the bait trap and all. Well, you take the bait trap and you just put any kind. I use fresh guts and all that we have from fish heads and guts and all. Or I'll use on this last one, I just had some frozen chum, some of that Raphael from Raphael's Fishery, little 5-pound blocks. I got it, blue water outriggers, and put that in there, and we leave it in overnight. And those fish, they're all in there. You saw it on video. So you can do that, and I also do that off the end of my dock. You can do it out in any area where you think the fish is going to be, but that smell is going to attract all those, okay? We've got to go ahead and do our drawing. We're running behind for our fishing board. Let's go and do our drawing, and we'll talk more about catching those bait fish. Okay, here's for a $20 gift certificate for Tarpon Dock Seafood, and the winner is Michael Johnston of Panama City, $20, and a big red snapper. The big red snapper is going to be Michael White. 2 Michaels, okay? That's 2 winners today. Go ahead and send your entrance in, and we'll take our break and be right back. Welcome back to the famous Friday fishing forecast, and what we're doing, we're bringing you the report from this week, and if you want to go fishing tomorrow, you don't have to fish these tournaments. You go out fishing, have a great time. Of course, freshwater, we talked about all the reports we're getting from a lot of the feeder creeks. The Owl Creek has been really good in Apalachicola, Florida River, Holmes Creek has done well. A lot of the feeder creeks are doing really good with the river being low like that. So really good brim fishing. The tournament tomorrow is going to be interesting to see all the big brim coming in. I also put down frogging. You saw the big frogs that Western had. Those great, late summer is a great time to go frogging. Well, they've eaten all summer, those frogs have. Insects have been out, they've eaten. That's why they're so big now. So frogging, if you get a chance, go frogging. And of course, floundering. I also put the 3 T's in the base system in the Apalachicola Bay. Triple tail, trout, and tarpon. The 3 T's down there are doing really well. But let's take a look at Mexico Beach. Mitch Coleman sent in this report from Mexico Beach. He said he's with Florida Days Adventures. The water's still stirred up from all the weather we've had the last few days, and all the wind and all. It's kept most of the fish have been close to shore. A few kings of Spanish mackerel have been caught in the carp body reef area. That's public numbers. The bottom fishing has been slow this week. Good reports of black drum and whiting on the beaches, and some flounder in the canal, and also, of course, this Mexico Beach Canal, and then off the pier here at Mexico Beach. So the whiting bite has been pretty good from what everybody's saying. Now the flounder gigging, when you go flounder gigging, there are really 2 schools of thought on it. It's fascinating. I've done both of them, but I sort of I like to do it this way. You can go from say dusk till about midnight, and and right there dark, get out there and just start. And the tide's going to play a big role in what you're doing. And some people, the second school of thought is get up about, take a couple hours of sleep and get up about midnight and go from about 1 o'clock to dawn. And I've had people report, you saw some pictures this past week of some folks doing that. So the two schools of thought on it. I've had success both ways, and we've had slow nights both ways. So best to read your tide. You want that high tide in there and coming in there, and what do you want the tide moving in? And in our area this time of year in Apalachicola and Choctawhatchee Bay and here, the tide is sort of doing that. You have high morning tides and low afternoon tides, and the tide starts coming in at night. So you want that tide moving. So anyway, keep that in mind while you're out flounder gigging. Also, Choctawhatchee Bay. Now I've been in touch with Captain Hunter Ray, who's fishing over there on a daily basis, Choctawhatchee Bay. He's going to be coming in pretty soon as it slows down over there, to give us a lot of information on what's going on in Apalachicola Bay. I know Freeport area, they're catching some nice redfish around the Freeport area, and also in the flats there in Choctawhatchee Bay. Here locally, West Bay, they've got a big tournament tomorrow, West Bay. And if I was going to fish the tournament tomorrow, I'm going to tell you exactly what I do. And Scott Lindsay and I've talked about it. We're going to fish the tournament tomorrow. If I would go to the pass, okay? Especially if you don't know the bay system well, okay? You're going to have a high tide. You're going to have a high tide tomorrow morning. The tide's going to start coming out. And if you can fish, see where the rocks are here on the state park side. Okay, I'm going to get in real close. This is your fishing tip for today. You can see the rocks. This area right in here, as the tide's coming out, get some live bait and just free line in here, or put some weight on according to how bad the tide's moving. If you're going to fish that tournament this weekend, that's exactly where I would fish. Some live bait at the end of the rocks on the state park side of the jetty. You'll catch some redfish, I promise you. I guarantee you will. So be aware of that, especially if you're sort of a rookie and not fishing a lot on redfish and not knowing. You can fish for docks, you can fish in the flats, you can fish here. That's what I would go tomorrow. All right, got to wrap it up. I hope you have a great weekend in outdoors, and I'll see some of y'all at the weigh-ins. And do something good for your fellow man today. Have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.